Hello, fellow enthusiasts. I'm doing my coronavirus lockdown video. The last video I did, some people commented that they couldn't hear what I was saying because I had music on in the background, and it's taken me a while to get around to doing another video, but now that we all have a lot of time on our hands, I figured it'd be a good time to do it. So just going to give you a walkthrough of my theater, things that I did that might be a little bit out of the ordinary. So let me get started. So this is my equipment rack that is behind the screen wall in my theater. If you go on the other side of that wall, my screen hangs there. So there's my Marantz AV8802A audio video processor. And then recently I picked up a used Mac Mini. If you do a lot of, it took me a little while to get used to Macintosh and their footprint, even though I've had an iPhone for years, but their computers are a little bit different. I'll tell you what, they're so much easier to use once you get to use them and get used to them than a PC-based computer for basically for everything, especially for like downloading things for specific like music servers or video servers. It's just so much easier on a Macintosh. So down underneath that is a Samsung 4K Blu-ray player. I don't have a 4K projector, but I do have some 4K Blu-rays because unfortunately I do enjoy Atmos. That's not the unfortunate part. There's some discs that you have to get the 4K version in order to get Atmos, which, okay, it is what it is. And I have my cooling, AC Infinity cooling fan. And then for stereo, that is a tube-based preamp. That is a Balanced Audio Technology VK33. I've always wanted to try a tube preamp with solid-state amplifiers for music, and I'm very pleased with that. And coming down underneath that is a Rotel 6-channel amplifier for my ceiling speakers, Class D. I believe that one's rated at 80 watts per channel, Class D. And coming underneath that is another 6-channel amplifier, but I only use 4 of the channels, and those are for my rear speakers. And that is another Rotel. And then a couple power conditioners that I really don't, that top one, that black one, I don't even use. I need to repurpose that. And then all the way down on the bottom is another Rotel amplifier. There's a RMB 1095. That's 200 per channel by 5 channels. And that amplifies my 2 sets of side speakers, so 4 altogether, and then my center channel speaker. And then over here, I've got a Shinata Research power conditioner that I use for my main equipment now. Yes, my wiring is a mess, but it's out of the way and I've been working on it. So anyway, that's plugged into that dedicated 20 amp outlet I had installed recently. Or actually, I put it in myself. So I've got my fuse box is right here, so it was really easy to do. And again, this is in a back area, so even though it's all exposed through that Romex, it doesn't bother me that way. Now this is coming out of that back area of my basement, and then this is just my entertainment area. I have a bar down here, just watch some sports and things like that. So I have another system down here. It's kind of a 2-part system. I have a couple old school ESS speakers down there for stereo, and then those littler black bookshelf speakers I have connected to a surround sound Yamaha receiver. And I got a couple side speakers and a couple more behind the couch over there. So that's just my little fun area. And then double doors into the main theater. You have to excuse me. I found when I do these videos, I run out of breath real easily, and I don't know why that is. So pardon my huffing and puffing if you happen to catch it. So I was an audiophile long before there was such a thing as home theater. And as the years have gone by and my career has advanced, my system has advanced as well. Those are our Aerial Acoustic 7T speakers. I got those because I listen, well, even though I have a very, kind of a complex, I guess you could say, home theater down here, I do a lot of 2-channel listening. And for 2-channel, these things just sound incredible. They're from a small company based out of the Boston area. So they don't look like it, but they weigh nearly 100 pounds a piece, even though they're not that big. And as you can see, I've got sound absorption around them, the sidewalls. the back wall next to the screen, and even that soffit that sticks down is all treated. I have to leave this open because there's a water valve shut off above there. Not a good place to put it, but it is what it is. I had the builder who built this house for my wife and I finish off this room because I don't do drywall and all that stuff. God bless the guys that are skilled enough to do that, but I'm not one of them. I guess I could, but I just didn't want to deal with it. So there's the front stage. So coming over here, starting off on the right, it's an Oppo BDP 105 Blu-ray player. I also have a collection of multi-channel DVD audio and SACD discs, quite a few of those. So I use it for that as well. Then underneath that is my Musical Fidelity M8 700 mono black amp. That is connected via XLR cables to those. I connected the XLRs to the Macintosh when I'm listening to home theater, watching movies, watching concerts, which I do a lot of as well. Or then I can take them out of that and just put them right into the tube BAT amp back or preamp back there and listen to music. So it takes literally 2 seconds, and I don't move them very often, maybe once or twice a month. So coming over the middle, there's my center channel speaker. That's also an Aerial Acoustics. That is the CC3. And then up above that, I've got my DAC on the right there. That's the Mytek Brooklyn Plus. And my streamer for now to the left is the Bluesound Node 2i. That will soon be replaced by a different streamer. So I may be selling that one if I don't like the other one better. Or if I do like the other one better. And then I've got my Sony HAP Z1 ES music server, which does DSD, high-res audio. I don't know, it sounds really great. And I use it on a regular basis as well. Most of my music listening these days is either done through the Sony or through the can't even think, through the Bluesound. I'm 60 and my brain is slipping into neutral more and more these days. So there's just the other amplifier down there. And then I've got them bi-wired. There are 2 sets of speaker outputs on that amplifier, so I use them both and bi-wired over to the speaker there. So coming around to the seating area, there's my front row 4 seats, and this is the command center. I got my little iPad hooked up there that I've got all my programming on to run everything here. Very nice, very comfortable seats. And then I've got my turntable set up over here. That runs through a wire through that chase down there all the way into the back. Not ideal, but at least I can get to my records. If I put the record player and the turntable in the back, I'd have to run back there to flip records over. That would be kind of a pain in the butt. I wish there was a way to get straight from here through that wall, but I didn't want to build a door into it and all that, so I just walk around. It's not a big deal to me, and besides, believe me, I need the exercise. And then I've got my headphones set up there, and I did play around with subwoofer placement in here quite a bit, and for now, this is what I've come up with. That is a Martin Logan. I believe that one's called the Depth Eye. There's 3 8-inch drivers in there, and that's all sealed and servo controlled. And then I'll get around to the other one in a second, the smaller of the 4 that I have. So there's my second row. I built, those are mirrors down there with a LED strip above it. Sorry, Siri thought I was talking to her, so she interrupted. But anyway, this is 17 inches tall, which at first I made it too short. I only hit it on that one riser and it was too short, so I built this other 12-inch riser. Now it's, if anything, it's a little bit too high, but actually when you sit back here now, it's great because you're like eye level with the screen. It's kind of a cool experience back here, sitting on the back. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you're kind of more eye level with the screen than you are in the front row, so they both sound pretty cool back here. And then there's my other smaller of the 2 speakers, of the subwoofers, I mean to say, right back there between the 2 rows. And again, that's got 3 drivers on it, so yeah, it's 160 degrees. Or no, that would be, never mind. Again, my brain's not functioning really well. There's my bigger subwoofers back here. Those are the Decenti, those 310s with a 750 watt amp. Same thing over there. And then part of the reason why I call this the Overkill Theater is because I've got a lot of big speakers in here. Those are, I used to have all Definitive Technology speakers up front, so rather than sound those, I moved them to the rear. So those are both rear channel speakers for the right channel. For the left channel, same thing. And then my side speakers are aerial acoustics. I have 2 sets of sides to give better sound between both rows. So that's the SR3. It has a driver right here, a pretty good size bass driver, and then it's got 2 drivers on this side, a mid and a tweet. The same thing over here. So there's the first one, there's a second one, third one. Those both flank the front row, and then this one back here. And then my rear Atmos height speakers back here. If I had to do this all over again, I would have put them farther forward, but I didn't have the layout of this room set up until after I put the speakers in. And then, as I mentioned in the past, I did a middle row. That one is connected to one of the front Dolby Atmos channels, and it's tilted towards the rear seats. And this one's on the other rear Dolby Atmos channel, and it's aimed towards the front row to kind of give you a little bit more ceiling height presence, and it worked out real well. And then my last row, so the front ones, those are spaced out pretty well. My ceiling is, I believe it's 7'10" in here. And then my projector up there, that is a Optima, yeah, Optima HD33. It's just 1080p, but it's a good projector. So that's pretty much it. Thought I'd make an up-to-date video where you can actually hopefully hear me this time around. Thanks, guys.